Christmas round the corner, money getting tight. Children wait with bated breath, hopes high for their delight. Parents counting pennies, Santa's on his way, apparently with tons of toys upon his festive sleigh. It's very nearly Christmas, that special time of year. It's very nearly Christmas, the joy is drawing near, fairy lights are gleaming, carols fill the air. It's very nearly Christmas.
Well, you weren't expecting that, were you guys? Well, I want to see what everyone's brought to the party. I've brought my spotted dick, but I think we better have the intro that you're all used to. Mariana, I put the link in the comment section, so get yourself up here, girl. So let's start this off properly, shall we? See you in a bit, guys.
Hear the stories left untold. Red flags. Red
How are you all? I hope you're all well. Very Merry Christmas to you. Have I already said that? I'm sorry if I have. I've said it again. So tonight we're going to have a little bit, we just have a cosy old chat. Of course we're going to be talking about Jay Slater. Why not? And I've got my first guest in the green room, and it's the very lovely Mariana. Hello, Ellie, how are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm looking forward to just chatting, catching up with you, see what you've been up to. Have you been on TikTok at all?
I've taken a bit of a step back, if I'm honest. My health hasn't been massively great. Bit of mental, you know, but a bit physical as well. So I've taken a little bit of a step back. Silently watching, silently observing the things that I've been told today of what's going on with a family member against a family member. I think is disgusting. I obviously can't say what family member, but me and this person have been in communications probably 2-3 months within the case, and they're very, very close to the case. But what's happening to this person, disgusting. And it's the same traditional trolls as well, the same people.
Yeah, it seems to be, and it's just, do you know, I've never known a case like this. And I remember someone saying, was it on the Sky interview, that this case is huge and like no other. And I'm like, well, is it really though? It's more a case of this case has come along with so many trolls, and these trolls are so vitriolic and so mean, and it's like, I've never known anything like this before. It's insane. But I want to say, Mariana, look after your health, darling, especially your mental health. I'm an advocate for mental health. It's something that I've dealt with. Always deal with it. But I use it for to help me sort of be who I am. In as much as I've always been a performer. I still remember as a kid, you know, my favourite thing was music and dancing. I remember skipping around to music even as a young child, and it's got me through a hell of a lot in my lifetime. So yeah, whatever it is that helps you get through, you use it, darling, because don't let the haters get you down.
Oh, I'm not. It's a whole bunch of other things that encompass it. The TikTok thing, I couldn't really care less about it anymore. It's just another one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. So let's wait for Duncan to come up before we move on to my first segment. So I want to say hi to everybody in the chat and wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas. And I'd like to see what you've brought to the party, guys. I've got my glass here ready. So let's see what you've all bought. So we've got Amanda has brought mince pies and brandy butter. Good. Nice to hear that. Mariana's got her drink there.
Oh no. What?
Yay! I love it.
I've got a really big one. Hang on. Let me get him. That sounds a bit dodgy, doesn't it?
And he wobbles as well.
He wobbles. So cute. I love him.
He's absolutely gorgeous. So who else? Oh right, okay. So who else have we got in here? We've got right, Claire in the house. We've got Truthful Ways. What ways out there? Yeah, that's what do you know, I was going to call you all truth seekers. But then I realised that is there a YouTuber that's called Truth Seekers?
TikToker.
So I thought I'm not going to use that. I'm not going to take somebody else's name. So you know, because we have a little bit of etiquette over here. We've got Lisa Payne in the house. We've got Raf in the house. We've got a tracking original misinformation. Talking of which, guys, I hope you all watched Wax's video today. Very, very good. I mean, we've just got to the point where it's like, you know, if you don't see it for what it is, then there must seriously be something wrong with you. That's how I feel about the case. And Wax going over each piece, and also Dunk's going over each piece. I mean, some people would possibly think, well, they must run out of things to say. Well, no, because there's so many blaringly obvious things that we can talk about. It's just insane. So I can't see anyone else that's brought any food in. We've got Fizzy Pop in the house. Hey, we've got Matt. We've got Dunks. Dunks, have you come up, darling? Where are you? Let's get him up on here, because I know he liked this particular segment that I've got prepared. Okay, so Claire's got Pepsi Max and Monkey Nuts. Yeah, all right. I don't drink Pepsi Max. I like the full fat. Full fat. That's what I like. We've got Raffy's got cheese and pickles. Okay, that's good. Oh, someone's bringing Baileys. I've already got a Baileys, but we'll add it. We'll add it. So then we've got, right, someone's laughing at the monkey nuts. So Dunks is saying that he's just getting camera connected. Give me a minute, Jan. All right, Dunks. Oh, Mariana, I understand that Mama D is live at the moment. I wish I knew she was going to go live. I would have invited her.
I didn't. Honestly, I'm so out of the loop. I'm not going to lie.
Okay, so we've got the main man here with his Santa Claus beard and his hat. Let's bring him on. Hey, Dunks.
I'm going to disappoint you. I have brought nothing to the party. There is no Santa Claus beard. The very festive glasses that I had, I think I've lost them already. Today was a travel day for me, and I just can't find them. If I do find them, I think I'm going to lose them deliberately anyway. I think it was a one-time thing. So knowing that Jan and Mariana would come in full festive spirit, I decided just to bring the six-pack of beer and enjoy you two. I might add something to the conversation, but I'm here, Jan, but I'm happily relaxing and ready for you to tell us what you think.
Tell you what what we think. Oh my God, what do we think? What do we think? Do you know? I think now is probably the time to do this little thing that I find really quite amusing. So just bear with me one sec, and we'll do this. Right, hang on. Because I'm so good at this. I'm so good at live streaming. I amaze myself. Right, hang on one second. It's coming. Is it? Right, hang on. Let's do this. Let's do this. Don't you hate it when incompetent people try and do live streams? I hate it.
Yes.
It won't come up. My preview's not working. So we're just going to do it under quick look. All right, here we go. So, guys, I don't know what you think of... Well, you know what we're going to do. You know what we're going to do. We're going to do... We're not doing that at the moment. Can you sing or something, Dunks? I mean, just do something while I faff around. Doing this.
I've got a feeling you're going to do Troll of the Week. If I'm wrong on that, I'm right, aren't I? So it is Troll of the Week. I've prepared a list of about 10 or so, but I would rather you're the official Troll of the Week spokesman, and I'd rather you tell me who you think Troll of the Week is.
Bum, bum, bum.
Right, all right, it's coming. It must be because I'm an old bit. I think that's why this isn't working today. But at least I admit to it. It's just not coming up. You're stupid. All right. While I'm faffing around with this, right? While I'm faffing around with this, Mariana, tell me what you're doing for Christmas, darling.
Not a great deal, to be honest. I'm not a massive fan of Christmas, so I might come across a bit bar humbug. Probably going to be in my room playing the PS5, if I'm honest. So just chilling out. What about everyone on here? I can't obviously see comments, but what's everyone else's plans? Dunk, what's your plan? Jam, what's your plan?
Shall I go first? I'll go first. Bit like you, Mariana, rather quiet. Mrs. Smith actually is a phenomenal cook. She actually quite likes preparing stuff, but she is from the Caribbean, so I've got a feeling we're going to have some kind of fish or seafood on Christmas Day. We both like, well, I eat everything, but we both like turkey. We both like, the traditional food. But I don't know. I think if you have a day or two off and you're not that busy, it's nice to have something a little bit different. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Jan?
Well, I spend mine with my family. I've got 4 adult children, so we all sort of juggle each other, and they all draw straws, and the one with the shortest straw ends up having me for Christmas dinner. It's always a delight. So and then the following day I do like a Boxing Day where I'll go over to the other one, and then I meet up with my son. It's just, yeah. It's all kids and fam for me, and I love it. It's the way I like it. So, here we go. Are we ready, guys? Are we ready for this?
Drum
Troll
roll.
of the week. Troll of the week. Right, listen. We've got 3 trolls of the week, Dunks. Can you believe it? So, here we've got The one, I mean, I think she's probably going to be a troll of the week every week, and we're just going to have to add a different person every week as we go along. So, this made me laugh, I have to say. We're going to start at the top, guys, okay? So this is our lovely Jane from Scotland. I can't do a Scottish accent. I've never been to Scotland. I never intend to go to Scotland. Sorry to all my Scottish people in the chat, but it's just nothing it's just a place that's not appealed to me. I'm not keen on the Scottish accent. I don't mind the Mrs. Doubtfire accent, but I don't like, you know, the sort of real Glasgow thing. And I hear that the Glasgow punch is a bit, you know, lethal. So, yeah. So there we have our Jane. Now, I put up on my community post, just inviting people along. So I put fancy a nice live chat with Dunks and myself and a super special guest, who is of course Mariana, on Sunday at 8:30, right? And then I said, I expect you all to attend in suitable festive attire to join us in a relaxed, informal manner as we raise our glasses, to Santa and his crazy little elves. Okay. If you would kindly bring snacks, they would be greatly received. Dunks has offered to bring cheese balls. He's forgotten his cheese balls, guys. I think we're going to have to kick him out. Our guest has agreed to bring trifle. She's forgotten that. And so I guess I'm stuck with the spotted dicks. So I do make myself laugh. Anyway, oh well, them's the breaks. Now, you always know when a troll is a troll, okay? A troll is a person that does not understand anything. They don't understand nuance. They don't understand intelligence. They don't understand humour. So we have old Jane up there in Drumtrap or whatever the place is called, who says, as if it couldn't get any worse, this woman, I think that's me, is seriously going to hold a Christmas live with snacks. Sorry, I'll try and get through this without laughing. With snacks to be gratefully received and wearing festive attire, with the headline of this live being that of deceased young Jay Slater. Okay. All while his mother will be utterly heartbroken, especially at Christmas. Oh, and look at the enthusiasm of Lisa Payne about this. Losing words. Listen, Jane, I would say you've lost brain cells, because if you did not see the humour in that, the issue, my love, is you. Okay? So stop being a troll, get your head out of your arse and leave me alone. Okay? This is just ridiculous. So that's troll number 1. Troll number 2, which I'm sure you're aware of. I don't know if you're aware of this, Mariana, because I know you've taken a step back. We have a glorious picture of Mr. Egghead in Tenerife, in the same spot, or supposedly the same spot, where poor Jay was lost his life. Okay, in the background, we can see Debbie. Yay! Debbie and some other girl, right? This man is stood there with this inane grin on his face. It's actually, for me, and I did write something underneath Duncan's video, that to me, it's like a psychotic look. It is chilling. I actually find that picture very chilling, because we know, once you know the context of what's been going on and the context of this picture and why he has chosen to put that out to everybody, it's chilling. That's my best word for it. Okay, it's disgusting. So then I'm going to move down to this one at the bottom. I've got to thank Dunks for that. He gave me a jump scare. I was on his channel, as I quite often am. I'm a stalker. I'm stalking him, guys. Anyway, I was on his channel and I see this face come up. I was like, oh Lord, that's Lauren Harris. Do you know who Lauren Harris is? No? No, all right, never mind, you don't want to. Anyway, this woman, right, she's got a channel, right? She and has absolutely no idea what's going on. And she's like, she's the accident group. Oh, yeah, well, we all know. Poor Jay. Let's put a prayer up to Jay. Because poor Jay, who fell down the cliff. Do you know what I've realised, Dunks? Even if he fell, say he fell from the top, right? He'd only go down a certain amount because of the way it is. It sort of goes down and then it goes level, then it goes down. Unless he went, it's ridiculous. Anyway, I'm not even going to bloody try and put some words to that. So, I've been speaking for way too long. I'm sure Dunks is ready to come in on this one. But yeah, so there are Trolls of the Week. Trolls of the Week. Yeah, all right. Off you go, Dunks.
Oh, where to start with that? Where to start with that? I didn't have Jane Elliott on my Troll of the Week list just because I didn't know, Jan, that the same winner from last week could feature again. But I did say last time it's a bit like goal of the season. There's no reason why, the same player can't have two or three entries into this. So, yeah, well done, Jane Elliott, two in a row. Um, I would say that it seems odd that on the one hand, you have people like Kaz Alice and others in the accident group saying to us, give it a rest, stop going on about this. After all, it's now Christmas, it's the festive season. Can't you take a break? Oh, we get that argument. And then when we do take a break, and lo and behold, we're a little bit festive, Jane Elliott pops up saying, no, you can't be festive. This is too serious. You can't do that. So, which argument do we go with? Shut up and enjoy the festive season for once, or don't enjoy the festive season. It's too serious for that. I don't know. It's typical accident group. Whatever you say is going to be wrong. In this case, I would say, obviously, Jan, you're right. She doesn't get it. She doesn't get it. We're not celebrating anything connected with Jay's death at all. We're celebrating something called Christmas. And the live is to talk about things connected with the Jay Slater case. On the other hand, when you look at Chris's photo, to me, that looks like a pure pleasure moment at the Jay Slater Memorial or close by. And I think that one is off. I mean, I don't want to be too rude, but it looks like his kind of profile picture for an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting where he's celebrating 30 minutes without having a drink. Hi, my name's Chris. I think I'm sober. That is an inane grin, and that is in bad taste. And yet, there's someone behind him with a camera. It looks like documentary number 2 is happening. They are fine celebrating that at the very place where Jay lost his life. But yeah, mention someone bringing cheese balls for a Sunday evening before Christmas, and Jane Elliott has a meltdown. You cannot make this stuff up. Vicky Maria, just want to comment on her. I don't go to her channel very often. I thought originally, I think she's a 180. There's quite a lot of them. I think she was on our side. I think she was asking all the relevant questions originally. I can't be sure about this, but I felt she was very inquisitive and curious. And then I didn't check on her. So imagine my surprise when I just had to click and she was full on accident group. I don't know what's happened to her. I don't know what's happened to her. But yeah, she is an odd one. I think she's been one of those that's lived in Spain for a long, long time. And again, don't want to get too mean here, but I think she thinks she knows a hell of a lot about what's going on the ground. But I think for her, on the ground is, perimeter of 10 yards around her house or something. She doesn't strike me as a person that knows, where she is exactly. But I think that's the whole thing about her. I think, I might be wrong, the whole thing about her channel is I'm in Spain. I know the court system here. I work with people that know this. And yet, you know, usual thing, ask any pertinent questions, and all you get back is, you know, show respect and shut up. Yeah, I've had enough of it. But Mariana, let's go to Mariana. Who do you know in this lineup, Mariana? Because you're more TikTok. I don't think you know Jane or Vicky Marie, do you?
No,
No.
I did do a little bit of YouTube content, and I kind of stopped doing it. So obviously my platform in comparison is obviously TikTok. It's the same trolls, you know. We got the Lola 180. She put up a cryptic message the other day to say that maybe she wasn't foul play, maybe she was AG all along, and she's done it to basically put a dick in the works to make us all confused. You've obviously got Red Sparrow Hawk, Jared Newton. You've just got the standard accounts with 0 followers, no photos, no videos, just the standard stuff. So you know they're watching your stuff, which it doesn't bother me at all. But they're the prolific ones. Obviously, on one thing I have noticed on TikTok, there's a lot of drama. So that's another reason why I've come away from it. There's a lot of, I say, content creators or people that go live. A lot of people trying to shit on each other, trying to bring each other down, and it doesn't make sense. I get it when you've got the fair play and then you've got the accident group, the foul play, sorry. You've got the two parties on that aspect. But when it's two like normal people and they're just going at each other, some of it's absolutely disgusting. I've seen a few live streams and I'm like, how on earth has that not been violated? So that's also why I've taken a step back. 'Cause it's, I call it toxic talk. I hate it. But it's just, yeah, you get some absolute madness on there. But yeah, it's the top two for me. Jared, Newton, and Lola.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember Dunks used to talk about Lola. I don't think I've ever come across her.
You're lucky.
Does she have a YouTube channel or is she predominantly TikTok?
She probably does have YouTube, just a different name.
Okay, before we move back to Dunks, because I want to hear who his other trolls of the week are, I want to find that this message that somebody said here, and of course it's gone now. Did you guys get rid of it? It's all right if you did. Oh, here we go. Someone by the name of Fearless Burton. Hi, Fearless, or do you prefer Burton? I'm sorry, but you guys troll people, and when you get it back, you don't like it. Okay, who do we troll? I hope you're still here because we can have a conversation. I'm happy to discuss it. Who do we troll? I want to know who we troll. Now, I think, you know, people don't really, maybe, I don't want to assume, but it's maybe some people don't really understand what the word troll means. If you're trolling a live stream like this, and you know you're coming in and you're drawing attention to something else to take away attention of, or take away the focus of the live stream, that would be called trolling. Now, I've never been in anyone's live stream in true crime to purposely redirect conversation. So that's one thing. I mean, Dunks, do you want to add what you think trolling is? And also maybe to answer this, that we troll people. I don't troll people. I seriously do not troll people when I'm on my true crime channel. On my other channel, I do. I love a good troll. I'm good at it. But I would never troll when I'm talking about true crime because I'm passionate about true crime. I'm passionate about justice. So I would never do that over here. So, Dunks, would you like to address this?
Oh, absolutely. Would love to address this. And I think this Fearless Burton guy is a prime example of someone that doesn't get what a troll is. First and foremost, actually, I don't think Sarah Smith MP gets what a troll is. She's come up with this catchy little tragedy troll label, but I bet in a one-on-one question and answer or debate on TV, if you put her on the spot and said, well, go ahead and define a troll and then distinguish why I'm a troll and, you know, your side isn't, I don't think she could do it. The point I would make to Fearless Burton is trolling has a sense of mischief behind it, and it isn't aimed at. It's often mean. It might not be mean. It might just be funny, but it isn't seriously aiming at establishing a truth. Now, I would say to Fearless Burton here, I might troll in retaliation. If someone is making mischief with me, I'll go, humorously make mischief back. But the point is, Fearless Burton, right now, I can be as serious as you want to be. I can be deadly serious. And I am right now. Fearless Burton, I'm not trolling right now. I'm asking you to step up into the box and show us that you are not a troll, that you are more than willing to talk facts, speculation, that's fine, based on fact, ideas, theories. Let's go serious. End the trolling here, Fearless Burton. Step up and prove that you are not a troll, that you can talk seriously on the case. 3, 2, 1, let's see you go, Burton. Oh, the troll isn't making a move.
Sure.
What do you say?
What a surprise. I would love them to come up. And I'm sure Mariana would love them to come up as well. So the only thing that Burton, I'm going to call him Burton, has come up with is trolling is making up stories about people. No, that isn't trolling. It really isn't. So I'm going to include Mariana in this discussion and see if she can tell us what she believes trolling is. Is it about making up stories about people? No, in my opinion. But let's see what Mariana has to say about it. Do you get trolls on TikTok, and what are they like, Mariana?
So my interpretation of troll is when it's causing harm to an individual, or if it's impacting their mental health because of a personal attack. I mean, my thing on TikTok is getting people's actual names out there so they have a name to the account. So if this person's in regards to that, then call me a troll. But I think whereas these people are hiding behind an account, I think for fair play, get their name out there. But I think when it comes to sensitive data, like for example, an address or workplaces and things like that, that's really serious, and that could really cause some damage. So obviously it's having death threats in your inbox, it's having racist comments in your inbox, it's people posting photos of family members without their consent. It's things like that. But the thing is, I want to put out there is the Jay Slater case that was made public. Everyone had access to it. Everyone knew what was going on about in regards to the case. Just because we post content doesn't mean our families need to get brought into it. That's been my argument from the start. But yeah, this is how they're all going on about it with this whole personal attack thing. But it's getting boring now, if I'm honest.
It is, and there's no reason for it other than to want to cause pain and upset to the person it's aimed at, like you, like myself, like Duncan. It's like, and it may start off as being really petty. You may think like, Duncan puts up a lovely picture of his wife, and then all these people start slagging off his wife. How dare they? How dare they do that? And whereas it may come as, all right, well, it's only people saying stupid things. No, it goes further than that. They've put up pictures of my family who aren't on YouTube. And what they do is, because they know that we live in a very social media driven society, they know how to find out who's related to whom and who's this and who's that. And, my kids don't have any reason to think that they're going to be used to have, and have their information put out by people who only want to harm me. That is, and I think the word troll is too soft of a word for that. That is, it's actually criminal. And, it's like, you never know what's going on in people's lives, okay? I speak up about my mental health. I've spoken about it before. This isn't, when I'm talking about Jay Slater, I'm not talking about my issues with mental health. And it's the same with you, Mariana. But when people feel that they can use that against you, when it's totally unrelated to the content that you're doing, it's like I can only think of the word spiteful, really. But it's churlish, it's aggressive, it's just awful, and something should be done about that. Maybe, do you know, was it you, Dunks, that put up the suggestion of maybe us getting together and trying to get a petition out about people that do that particular thing to us? And I'm sure there's hundreds of other content creators, I know there are, who have suffered the same way. And, unless you've gone through it, I think people don't really understand. You have to have gone through it. And I'm not going to share all my shit on here. Do you know what I mean? But it's disgusting what these people do. So yeah, do you want to jump on, Dunks, and let me know what you have to say here?
I won't say too much because I think we have kind of gone over this again. You see, there, as a society, we're going through a very difficult process of trying to find out where the red line is. And, on the one hand, of course, it is okay and it is free speech to actually offend someone and tell them what you think. That is allowed. However, there is the other side, which is when it is harassment and it is repeated. So, 2 or 3 times targeting the same person, you're starting to harass then. Then when you expand it to other family members, and when you have a whole channel dedicated to basically harassing one person, that to me is clearly over the line. You are then, it is malicious content, is harassing, and the only aim of that is to cause great angst, in that person. So it isn't always easy to see what side of that line someone is on. I think the extremes you can see. You can see when someone has one sole desire, and that is to get this one person humiliated and destroyed. You can tell that sometimes. That is the sole aim of that troll. On the other hand, I do say there's a grey area, and I'm one of those, Jan. You might not agree with this, but things like Facebook. Now, Jane Elliott, if she puts a photo up of her adult kid, let me stress adult kid, because she'll start wringing her hands saying, it's a child, my son. He's an adult. She puts up a Facebook photo, which is public, everyone can see it. So I look at it. This guy is in Rio, in Brazil, having his cocktail, and the caption is something about just went on a tour of the favelas, the slums area. And I don't like that kind of tourism. I think it's disgusting, actually. I think if you're one of these Westerners that's going to pay money to have some local guide show you where all the poor people live, I just don't like it. Now, I think it's fair enough for me to take that photo and put it out there and maybe make it humorous. Say, yeah, it's a hot day in the tropics when you have to sip a cocktail and someone's telling you, let's go look where the poor people live. She didn't like it. Of course, she didn't like it. But I didn't do it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. I didn't dedicate a whole channel to humiliating Jane Elliott's adult kid. That, on the other hand, is pretty much what Mark Dearden, aka Thomas Wilson, has done. He has no content whatsoever on Jay Slater. Doesn't even interest him. What interests him is getting the people that don't follow his narrative and humiliating them. That's it. So that's why I've gone to Northumbria Police, because it is clearly harassment. Now, it's taking its time because the poor guy in charge of this investigation has to go through all of the screenshots, which go back months and months and months. But if that comes back as not harassment, then Jan, sadly, in a way, it gives all of us the green light to do exactly the same thing with any photo we can get hold of. And this is where it gets very, very nasty. So I don't know. I think that, as a society, that red line, we're not sure where it is. You can see where it isn't. You can see where it is sometimes, but there's a grey area in the middle, and we're all learning that.
Yeah, indeed. I think, there is. I don't even know if there is a line. I don't think these people understand boundaries. I don't think people, they just seem so driven by hatred. Um, and I'm not one of those people, so I couldn't do that. You know, it's like I spoke to my daughter the other day and I said, listen, you know, I'm I'm getting, you know, shit from the true crime community and everything. And she said, oh, don't worry about it, Mum. She said, last time her daughter, my granddaughter, they got a picture. This isn't in true crime, this is in the other community I was in. Actually put pictures of my granddaughter on a porn site. On a porn site.
That's disgusting.
I know. It's like these people are sick. They're absolutely sick. It's disgusting. But anyway, let me bring you in here, Mariana. Is there anything you want to add about that, or do you want to start? Oh, yeah, because Dunks wanted to bring in some more trolls. Is there anything else you want to talk about that you've learnt recently, Mariana, about the case?
It's more so about this whole social media law. So obviously I know you guys are saying about this harassment, but then you got the flip side of freedom of speech, and that kind of relates to this whole Jay's Law thing, because social media is monitored and regulated by AI. It's not a physical person sat there; it's a remote sat there scrolling through saying yeah, no, no. It's AI, and it flags up with different like all the comments that are put. That's how the video is flagged. Now you think they're going to employ hundreds of thousands of employees for TikTok and YouTube and all of this, so they can monitor it and basically put it all back for certain words and content. It's not going to happen. And the fact is, I don't understand is why is she doing this whole Jay's Law thing when she could be going to schools? She could be raising awareness to kids saying, look, if you're going to do drink and the other stuff, you need to be careful. And if you're going on holiday with your friends, you need to stick together. And if you meet people you don't know, don't trust them. Don't go up to an Airbnb on your own with them anyway. Or she could even do like a charity for families that have lost their young kids abroad, or even family members abroad, to help with repatriation costs, things like that. Because she could turn something really awful that's happened to try and make it in a positive way for other people and to keep his legacy going in that aspect, rather than Jay's Law. I think that's a bit of an insult to him, if I'm honest, and I reckon he's shaking his head up there, if I'm honest.
I said as such in, I think, my last video when Debbie was saying, oh, I can just imagine him up there looking down saying, go for it, Mum, go for it. And I thought, no, I really don't think that that's what he's thinking. God rest his soul. I really don't think that that is what he's thinking, because he knows what happened. And it just astounds me that a mother can... It's like she's totally disrespecting her own child by saying that, because she knows what happened. She knows that that poor boy up there, yes, I believe in heaven. I'm a religious person. I don't ram it down people's throats, but I believe in the Lord. Anyway, we'll move on. But what I can't understand is how a mother can sit there and say, I know my boy's going to be saying, yeah, you go for it, Mum, because they're all saying nasty things about you online. No, I'm sorry. It just fills me with anger. Absolute anger. Anyway, I'm going to move on to you before I blow whatever. Before I go mad, I'm going to move on to you, Dunks.
Yeah. So I just want to add something really important to the whole Jay's Law thing. Have you noticed how the target of Jay's Law actually is the platforms? Because the petition asks the platforms to remove any of the offending material from, those that are perceived to be using misinformation and attacking a grieving family. But it's targeting the platforms to remove the abuse. And I find that interesting because normally in life you go after the criminal, not after the person that might have allowed the criminal to commit the crime. And I think this is an admission that they actually realize they can't go after people that are on social media committing these crimes. I mean, they can try, but it is painstakingly slow, and even the police find it very, very hard to identify exactly who that person is. So I think they realize we can't actually go after the individuals. And we all know it's very, very easy. Let's say YouTube remove your channel. You've got a backup channel, another funny name or another unconnected name. And because, as Mariana said, it's a robot that's controlling this, the robot isn't going to think, wait a minute, I think this writing style is the same as the one I just removed. It's not that sophisticated yet. It probably will be, soon. But they realize that the channel, could be taken away and the person continues. So they're going after the actual platform. And I've said this before, but I think this is a real loser because platforms like YouTube and TikTok, I'm sorry, but they are much, much bigger than any parliamentary law that might get through in the UK. And they might respond and say, yeah, we'll remove some of these channels. We agree with you. We don't like it. But at the end of the day, it is, on TikTok's list of priorities, it's number 100 and something. It really isn't that big. But yeah, it is the platforms that are supposed to tackle this. And I don't know. That's to me, that's a sign of defeat already. It's like we can't actually deal with the people, so we'll just hope TikTok and YouTube do something. I don't know. It's weak, isn't it? It's weak.
It's weak and absolutely impossible. I mean, the more you think about it, the more you realise that, you know, they think that they can stop. Who are they going to stop? They're going to stop like this, the Bailey Sarians of YouTube. You know, the massive true crime content creators. Like, you know, what about Law and Crime Network, which I watch, especially when people are first reporting on something, it's all speculation. And I think as long as you're saying this is speculation, you're not saying this is 100% true. I believe X, Y, and Z. We're not saying that. It's only the likes of Dan O'Keefe who did that, and look what happened to him. So we all know. So Mariana, what is your thoughts on the possibility of TikTok closing down all the true crime people on there? I mean, do you think it's a possibility?
Absolutely not. TikTok make hundreds and hundreds, if not billions of pounds a year. TikTok are very much focused on the revenue and what they make. You have some people like Hayley Comet, for example. This isn't throwing any hate. I think she's nice. She makes hundreds on each live she makes. TikTok takes 60% of whoever earns anything. They take 60%. So if you've got your creator rewards program, they take 60%. You get your gift total on your live stream, they take 60%. They make an absolute killing. And if they're going to do this for every person, that if it's just crime related or if it's in general misinformation, they're going to be shooting themselves in the foot. They're going to lose so much revenue. Yeah, okay, you've got some of us small time people that have like not amazing like high amount of followers. I'm grateful for the 33,000 I have, and I know they're in here too. But they're not gonna. It's not gonna work. And the thing is that baffles me, and this really grinds my gears. They reached out to the public for help. They made 72 grand off of the public. They got the public to fly out to help. And then obviously when it's all been exposed and different bits coming here and there and everywhere, they're reining it in. No, you can't talk about it anymore. We're going to shut the platforms down. Shut up. Stupid. Sorry.
It's all right. I can cope with shut up. I was married to an Irishman. My God, his language. I used to say to him, do you mind not swearing in front of the kids? I mean, his language was terrible. But anyway, I digress. Duncan, what else do you want to talk about? Because we've been talking mainly about the trolls. Is there anything else that you want to talk about as regards this case? What's happening? What's happened? Blah, blah, blah. Off you go.
All right, this is not really related, but it kind of is. Getting back to the descriptions that we get of Debbie Duncan from the other side, it is only one line. All we ever hear from the accident group is Debbie Duncan is a grieving mother. And the whole argument they place about why we shouldn't say anything negative about her is because she is a grieving mother. And that is where their side of the debate ends. There's a full stop there. Debbie Duncan's a grieving mother. Therefore, you should not, you must not, you must show respect, and you have to say certain things. What I wanted to say tonight was that is an absurd argument, because it's a bit like saying, Winston Churchill, oh, he was a prime minister. Well, okay, he was a prime minister, but he was a lot more than that. So I think we've got to amplify what exactly Debbie Duncan is. What kind of person is she? So tonight, I just want to say that every time the accident groups say, "Oh, Debbie Duncan, grieving mother," we should all be saying, "No, wait a minute. Grieving mother, yes, but grieving mother making sure that Candor Productions catch the weeping moment during the grief in church, that's important to point out. It's not the kind of grieving most people do, but okay, grieving mother. She's also an activist, isn't she, to restrict freedom of speech now that she doesn't like the people that gave her so much money saying, hang on a second, we actually gave you some money to get some answers. So she's become an activist and opponent of free speech, the way I see it. She also is someone that chooses not to condemn anything connected with the narco trade in Lancashire, in Tenerife, anywhere in the world. I've never heard grieving mother Debbie Duncan ever say what she deplores about what happened to her son. She has never mentioned who these people were supplying the drugs that got him so, screwed up that he ended up dead at the bottom of a ravine. So, grieving mother, yes. Activist against freedom of speech, person who refuses to condemn the whole narco trade anywhere in the world. She's also a celebrity who chooses to, she actually she revels, I think, in going from studio to studio these days. She loves to make those appearances. So she's also that person. She's a mother who hides the truth about what happened to her son. She never, ever faces these three so-called friends who absolutely could have saved her son's life. They didn't, and she won't mention it. And this is a mother who you would have thought, if she's grieving, would have some kind of feeling about the people that let that happen to her son. She's also that kind of mother. She's a mother that's totally deluded by what kind of life Jay was leading. She just doesn't seem to recognize that when you have a community order, and Wax pointed this out today, if you're on a community order, you fly abroad and then you're texting the whole world you've stolen a watch. That's not good. But we don't get from the grieving mother recognition that her son, along with his friends, put himself in a really bad position, and her aim from now on is to help other people avoid that. So, yes, grieving mother, but there's a whole list of other things that Debbie Duncan is. And I think that's what has to be mentioned in these debates. So from now on, I know it's a lot of writing and a lot of speaking, but whenever I get this from the accident group, oh, you need to respect a grieving mother, I'm going to say, yes, maybe I do need to respect a grieving mother, but I'm going to show a certain disrespect to the other aspects of this mother who could have done so much more, and she chooses not to. That's my rant over. But yeah, grieving mother, but a lot of other things.
Yeah, absolutely, 100% agree with you. But I want to talk to this guy. By the look of him, he looks about 50, 55, called Fortnite. He says, Jan, you're a lying, nasty beach. That's only my speculation, so that's okay to say. Yeah, say what you like. But you won't say it in here again because I'm going to block you. All right. But yeah, I mean, obviously, you like Fortnite at your age. Grow up, son. Just grow up. Mods, can you boot him?
Or get him in a box.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Mr. Fortnite, going on, you should say 50 night, yeah? Come on up. Come and have a word. Come on. Yeah, of course he's an incel. Listen, this isn't my first rodeo, but yeah, let's get rid of the plonker. There we go. There we go. Off you go. Go and play Fortnite. Yeah, but yeah. Okay, get back to what you were saying. This thing about you cannot talk about a grieving mother. Listen, you don't get to my age without having grieved, okay? You don't get to my age without having heartbreak. We all go through it. Now, if I can possibly imagine one of my sons being the likes of Jay, okay, and the same thing happening to him, would I be acting the same way as Debbie Duncan? No. Listen, we don't want to. Maybe she doesn't want to admit what a scumbag he was. Okay? I'm not talking ill of the dead. He was a scumbag. But it doesn't mean that he doesn't deserve justice. Okay? Now, if one of my sons was like that, I wouldn't be going around trying to silence everybody who's found out what he was up to. If anything, I would be going on and saying, right, I understand he did get into trouble, he was a bit of a naughty boy, blah, 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 but, and then sort of go from there. It's like one of these mothers who's like out shopping, or you're sort of chatting to a group of mothers and they say, oh, my child never does anything, and then you look round and and the child is kicking the shit out of another child in the corner. She's one of those mothers. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's part of her problem. If she was being honest about him, I think she would garner a lot more sympathy. People could relate to her much more. People can't relate. Right. Decent people cannot relate to a mother having a child like that who sits there and pretends, oh yeah, no, well, I didn't realise that he was a part of the gang that beat the hell out of some boy. No. And I know that there are different groups in society, and I'm quite glad I'm not in that group of society. I can't. It's all alien to me. But, seeing the trolls that come after us, it's quite obvious that they're all of that ilk. Does that make sense? And that's why you can't argue with them. That's why they won't come up on panel with us. Because they can't hold a conversation. Their idea of having a conversation or a confrontation is to have a punch up in the car park somewhere. They're not capable of any conversation, really. I suppose the one that's nearest it would be would be our egghead, Chris Pennington, and even he can't string two words together. So I totally understand, what you were saying there, Dunks, in that it's different worlds, It's like, there's songs, there's a song which I love, actually, by Chaz and Dave, called Two Worlds Collide. And I think that's what's happening as well. And we don't understand those worlds. We don't understand their world. So instead of instead of Debbie coming out and being bloody honest about her son and being honest about the other thing, there's so many things that Wax has gone over and that we've all gone over. It's blatant lies and it's fabrication. So instead of saying, right, enough's enough, I'm going to be honest to everyone here. If they don't like me, then they don't like me. She's just going along with it, and I can't understand that mentality. So, which one of you do you want to speak, Dunks?
Yeah, it's not only Debbie Duncan. This is the accident group in general. Chris Pennington, Ivor Lovelace, whoever you bring up. If you start to go through any detail about the background to this case, all they can do is ignore it, insult you, say that you're making it up, like this Bertrand guy. You're making stories up. They never actually can deal with any of the facts. Although, ironically, the word fact is one of their favorite words, but they can only use it in that generic we follow the facts or you're not going by the facts. When you press them on this kind of thing, they can't actually explain what they mean. And I kind of feel sorry for them in a way because they're like the child that goes totally by emotion. You know, they're crying, they're having a meltdown, and they don't understand what's going on, and they can get very angry and nasty, like the child that is acting out. But when you analyze what the problem is, it's actually not really much of a problem. It's just they can't grasp what is happening. They can't accept that there is a rational explanation for what we do, and that's where it gets very very, very frustrating. Um, I think they might be those superficial types that think, oh, if only everyone would shut up and go away, this will all be resolved because we can all ignore it and life goes on. But I think on our side, we can't actually sleep very well thinking, wait a minute, if what happened to that kid is going to happen two, three, four, five more times in the same way this coming summer, that's a terrible thing. But I don't think that ever enters their head. It's all about Jay Slater. That's it. Oh, and the grieving mother. That's it. I don't think their thoughts go anywhere beyond that. Because I tell you, if their thoughts did go beyond that, they would really want to go through what happened to Jay Slater, and they never, ever do. Um, so that's my frustration is whenever you try to get, and this is why I've always said, just join me in conversation. Wax said it in his video tonight. Just talk to us. Just talk to us, you know? We'll give you our point of view. You give us your point of view. Let's discuss it. But I think they know, as soon, like the little kid acting up, as soon as the discussion gets serious, they really haven't got anything. So I'm going to make the prediction that we're going to keep offering, join us, join a live, do a debate, go on TV, and it's always going to be either no answer. Sarah Smith refuses to answer someone that's not one of her constituents. Media companies, I've written to all the Nick Pisa, all the journalists that have written, no answer, just no answer. And I can only think it's because they're too lazy to really get into the case. That's my frustration. Mariana, what do you think?
So my biggest thing that I've been thinking of is obviously Claire's written down obviously that Luggy was the one that filmed himself at the funeral, saying obviously the Guardia Civil lied to the family. So Luggy went to the funeral. Chris Tenerife, the hero, the guy that's done all this work, he's done all this searching on the mountains, he never went to the funeral. Why? And then that makes you think, hang on a minute, if he didn't go, is he not allowed to? This is conspiracy and speculation. Is he not allowed to leave Spain? Is there a reason why he's not allowed to go there? Is there a reason why he didn't go to the funeral? Even though Debbie's done a whole documentary and sat in front of a camera, basically singing his praises, because obviously all the hard work he's done. That's what I don't understand, why he didn't go to the funeral.
Yes, it's all very, very odd, and it doesn't make sense. But it's like, I think by going back to the beginning, it's like when I do a video, I go over some of my old videos to see, and it's surprising what I found actually, especially the ones with Ayub talking. I mean, that guy, he might as well just sit there with a big banner saying, I'm as guilty as sin, because it's just ridiculous. But I think it's like, I've had people say, well, why are you going over and over the same thing? That's what the police do. That's what, when the police open up like cold cases, they start at the very beginning. They start where the witness first, contacted them. And that's what you have to go over everything. And I think that the thought that quite simply, it just flashed in my mind. Do you remember when Debbie said that she had like the 600 page Spanish documents, and she'd sit there overnight, she got Strictly on, and she'd be sat there, with Google Translate. Are you having a laugh? 600 pages. It's just insane. But it's actually, I quite enjoy doing those, those compilation retro videos, because you see all the stupidity that they think that we're going to take as the truth. We know it's all lies. And I just hope to God, I hope 2026 is the year that it will be opened up by police authorities, whether it's Spanish, whether it's British, I don't care. Somebody needs to open this case up. We don't want it to last like 5 years, do we, Dunks? And then for somebody to open up the case.
We certainly don't want that, but I got to be honest, I was one of those that thought, I don't know, round about 4 or 5 months after he disappeared, I thought we're going to find out from someone involved, what happened here. Um, and I wanted to dip into this very quickly because I'm now thinking that there's a large number of them that actually don't know what happened. My theory is I think they all know, all the friends, all the people involved, they all know, I think, that Jay did not die by accident. But I don't think many of them have much of a clue what happened. And I wanted to tackle Marianne on this because I think she has a different view. For example, Brad, I don't think Brad really does have much of a clue. I think Brad knows maybe the reason Jay went up to Masca, but after that, he might not know what happened other than someone did Jay in. We got that hint from Brad when in the interview, when he said something like, "Well, something could have happened to him if he did something wrong," you know. Um, but Mariana, I think you aren't you on record saying you think Brad knows a hell of a lot.
Yeah. Yes. So let's not forget the key fact that Rachel put out there. His mum. He's having really bad nightmares. He's really struggling. If you don't know what's happened or you haven't seen something bad, what's triggering those nightmares? There's a trauma of some sort. Yes, you get nightmares randomly, sporadically. Everyone gets nightmares. But to being so close to the case and Rachel saying, due to all of this, he's now having really bad nightmares. He didn't want to do the interview with Isla. Debbie asked him to do it. He had a black eye as well. And it just speaks volumes. And when he's going into the inquest and you've got that guy Jail Tales, the guy that films people that comes out of the courts and stuff, she's like, don't talk to anyone. And he sat there with a grin on his face. Like, they're smug about it. And whether they know the full extent or they know bits, but they definitely know something in regards to it. And that's why they're holding back.
Yeah, I saw that video actually of Brad coming out of the courthouse, and I was like, does he
That's not
look?
a best friend.
No, does he look like he's lost his best friend in Tenerife? No way. And you could say, yeah, well, it's about a year after. It doesn't matter. He would have a haunting look in his face, and I don't think he has. I I think I'm more like Dunkso. I think that it's more probable that Bradley doesn't really know what really happened. I mean, shall we say, I mean, is it too soon to sort of say what we truly believe happened, or I don't know. Always a bit loath to say it publicly, what I think actually happened. I don't think Brad knows a great deal. And we've still to work out, I'm going to come to you on this one, Dunks, what happened when Brad went missing, because there was a time that he went missing as well. So what happened at that time?
Brad's a very difficult one to talk about because he was the one that admitted he had so much. I don't know if he said so much ket, but he had so much substances in his system that he can't really say why he didn't react to Jay's message about the stolen watch. So I mean, this was the bizarre thing about the inquest. Adderley heard that and thought, okay, well, he was so high he can't really recall why he said what he said. but apparently Brad's testimony is valid, despite the fact that we now know Brad didn't know what the hell was going on. Um, with Brad, I don't know. I've just got a feeling he may have gone over there, not part of any kind of gang or plan, just to, have a wild time and, overindulge. He might have ended up deep into it. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't see him as one of the key players in all this. But sure, he knows enough to. The very fact that he knew who Ayub was, but for 12 days while Mark Williams Thomas is busy trying to find Ayub, and Brad could have said, "Here's his number. You could always call him." That's awful. And I've never got past that. When Rach is there saying, "Well, we got to find out who these mystery men are," and it turns out, "Oh, your son knew him on day one." What kind of shite is that? So yeah, I mean, Brad's deep into obstruction of justice and all the rest of it. I don't know. Maybe his nightmares are more connected to what he takes. I don't know. He might be guilty. He might be guilty of all kinds of things. I don't know. On the question, Jan, of what are we prepared to say, um, it's really difficult because if you go with the idea that Jay did not die by accident, then you've got to explain how the body ended up where it ended up, wherever that was. And that's a messy one. That's a real messy one. You've got to start to think, well, did someone keep him in a deep freeze for 2 weeks and then somehow drop him there for 2 weeks? And Guardia Civil only decided to find him when the Dutch arrived. It gets very, very conspiratorial. But those kind of things do happen in life. There are plenty of crimes that turn out to be masterminded by someone, on the inside. I don't know. I have said from day one that I get a feeling that it could be someone we haven't met yet in this case. Just one of those, and there are a few of them in Tenerife, a few hired hands that if the money doesn't come through, the ransom isn't paid, the guy's more of a liability, he's going to speak if he goes back to Lancashire, we just get rid of him. It could be something like that. And, people like Ayub, they're told what their job is. Like, Ayub, your job is just to drive the kid, get him in your car somehow, get him up to the Airbnb, and then you'll get a call from whoever and they take him away. I've got a feeling there's someone else involved here that M or whoever, that mystery person is. There's someone else here, I think, that's involved, but I don't know. Are you going to be the brave one, Mariana, and say you think Rocky or Brandon hit him on the head and killed him?
So I don't think he fell. I've always said that from the start. I really don't think he fell. And I'm more leaning towards the fact that I don't think he went up to the Airbnb alive. So the thing is, the main focus obviously was that he had massive trauma to the head, which indicated a fall to the head, and he died immediately, which is what was put on the paperwork, right? So that's not speculation. But if you're awake, regardless if you're on substance or whatever, natural reaction, you're gonna put your hands out. You're gonna stop. You're gonna try and cover yourself. But if you put your hands down, falling from that height, you'd have your arms would be out the socket. There wouldn't be much left, if I'm honest, and that's not me being graphic or anything like that. But if you're falling and you're alive, there's no defense wounds or breaks or anything like. Yes, there's going to be breaks, obviously falling from that height and landing in the terrain and hitting all the rocks and stuff. I get that, but there'd be more serious injuries to the arms, elbows, the whole arm in general. So he didn't fall down there alive, definitely not.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you there as well. But it's hard, because I think, Dunks and I don't agree on everything. And I'm sure, you don't agree with everything that we believe. But I think it's difficult to actually say what you categorically believe to be what happened. Because, it's hard. I mean, they're trying to take away our freedom of speech, but they can't take away our freedom of thought process. And that's what we have used in order to come to what we believe. has actually happened with that boy. Before we go, Dunks, I want to ask you, did you know, and also you, Mariana, do you know who he went over with? Because do you remember when Josh first spoke in the inquest and he said, oh, we met Jay on the plane? Did he say he met Jay and a group of his friends on the plane, or did he just say that he met Jay on the plane going over? Because I think that's quite interesting. And also Jay before going on the plane.
Yeah, this Josh Forshaw story about meeting, I believe he said Jay and his friends in line, yeah, to board or something. So he mentioned more than Jay. Um, and I was really surprised when he said Lucy was on board because up till then I was sure Lucy was already in Tenerife. That's why she's got the permatan look. She spends a lot of time over there, or she's been in other exotic places, plying her trade. So I was like, what? Lucy flew over with them? I don't think so. And again, curious that we have one or two snaps of Jay and Brad on the plane. I think getting their luggage off the plane. Nothing. Lucy's not there. I haven't seen Lucy in any of those, and that's another oddity. You'd be like, well, if you took a few photos and Lucy's in there, why haven't we seen those? But I can't figure out if Josh made that bit up, why he would want to put Lucy there. Why would he make up that Lucy was in that group? Maybe she was, but my impression was she wasn't. So, and it's all very strange as well. You meet someone at the airport and they become your best friend, so that 24 hours later, that's the guy you're texting saying, "Look at me, I got knives down my pants here, in case it kicks off." I you know, I'm a friendly kind of guy. If I get talking to someone, I'll talk to them. But 24 hours later, I'm not sending them selfies of me with knives down my pants. Not generally, anyway. It's a bit odd, isn't it? Look at me,
Look at
Josh.
me,
I'm ready
Josh.
for
I'm ready
action.
for action.
I was gonna say that reminds me of the saying. Is that a knife down your pants, or are you just pleased to see me? Oh God, my mind's gone elsewhere. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up, guys. Mariana, is there anything else that you want to add before we go? And then I'll move on to Dunks.
Yeah, of course. It was more so just to say thank you again for having me on. It was lovely to talk to you, Jan, and also lovely to speak with yourself as well, Duncan. Couldn't see any comments, obviously, 'cause I'm on this box thing. So everyone that's obviously watched, thank you for listening and commenting. I hope everyone has a lovely Christmas. And if I don't see you guys, have a lovely New Year. May 2026 be the year for all of us. I'll cheers to that with my bottle of lemon water. Love that. But yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity again.
Dunks, you coming on? And well, I will say, as I've got the mic, thank you as well, Mariana. You have a fabulous Christmas, even if you don't think you're doing very much. It doesn't matter. That's probably the best thing anyway.
Yeah.
Jesus, I'm knackered by the end of it. I'm like, can I go home now? I've had enough. So you have a fabulous time, and we'll do another live stream in the new year. I'll let you know. You can come on, and we can chat some more things, because we can talk about this forever. So once again, thank you so much, Mariana, for coming on, and I'm now going to pass over to Dunks to say his goodbyes and to add anything else that he wants to add to the conversation.
I'll try to keep it short this week. Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody. Despite what Jane Elliott says, I think it is possible to keep thinking seriously about what happened to Jay Slater, but to celebrate Christmas, of course it is. And we're going to do that. On the 2026 thing, yeah, if something doesn't come out in 2026 about what really happened, it's going to drag on for a long, long time. Fingers crossed. I think you're right, Jan. I think something will pop up in 2026. Maybe in another court hearing. We've got Ayub's wife, maybe wife. She in the summer will be on trial, I think. So somewhere along the line, I think someone might say something that alerts the authorities in England. I don't see anything in Spain happening. I just don't see that. But something in Lancashire might pop up, and maybe Brad will say something because he realizes if he doesn't, he's in trouble. We've got to hope for a breakthrough. If there's no breakthrough, we'll be back here again in 12 months doing the same thing. But yeah, thanks, Jan. Thanks for doing this. Have a great festive season, everyone, and see you next year.
Laters. Do people still say that? My kids always tell me off. They're like, "Oh, Mum, you're always coming out with these these slang words." I can't help it. They're like, "Mum, you don't always have to get down with the kids," and I'm like, "I can't help it. It's just the way I am." Anyway, I want to say thank you, Dunks, for coming on again. Absolute star. Yeah, we'll do a live stream. In the beginning of January, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
And because I'm sure, as you say, there's so much going on. I think Brad's going to be the weakest link. If he can get away from Rachel, mind you, she's gone very quiet. Anyway, let's go. If he can get away from Rachel, he's going to be the weakest link. That's what Jan says. Merry Christmas to you all. And as I said at the end of my last video, guys, if you are on your own, because some people hate Christmas, if you are on your own, don't worry about it. Find something you like doing, even if it's just to watch Elf over and over again. Find something you like doing. Be kind to yourself. And at the end of the day, it's just a couple of days, isn't it? So you take care of yourselves out there, because trust me, it's a rotten old world. So Merry Christmas to you all. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you, everyone.
Christmas round the corner, money getting tight. Children wait with bated breath, hopes high for their delight. Parents counting pennies, Santa's on his way, apparently with tons of toys upon his festive sleigh. It's very nearly Christmas, that special time of year. It's very nearly Christmas, the joy is drawing near, fairy lights are gleaming, carols fill the air. It's very nearly Christmas.